keep an eye on for you. We shift focus to other stories making headlines today, and workers in the country are a disappointed lot after President William Ruto failed to expressly increase the minimum wage. President Ruto, however, opted to pursue policy reforms into what he termed as general wage. NTV's Brian George Otieno kicks us off with this and other rafts of reforms that the president is pursuing.
It's a big win for employers on Kenya Kwanza's debut Labor Day commemoration as President William Ruto steered away from an upward minimum wage revision. To the utter disappointment of the workers drawn from virtually all industries represented at Uhuru Gardens, President Ruto rather considered a long-term policy review toward general wage. The Federation of Kenya Employers said the previous adjustment grossly affected employers.
Ondoe tofauti ambayo iko kati ya wafanyikazi wa umma, wafanyikazi wa private sector. We must harmonize how we treat all our workers so that all workers work for equal pay that is fair and that ensures hata tukisema minimal wage lazima tukubaliane, how do we arrive at minimal wage? How do we arrive at a decent, livable wage? On
Labor Day 2022, then President Uhuru Kenyatta announced that his government had raised the country's minimum wage from a previous 13,572 shillings to the current 15,201 shillings. This was a 12% increase in the wage. President Ruto now says Cabinet will consider drafting a draft wages and remuneration policy amid complaints by KOTU of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission's involvement in negotiations of collective bargaining agreements.
Ile mpango iko sasa for compensation around injuries at the place of work ni kwamba it is the employer who bears liability. We want to change the structure because some employers run away from that responsibility when it happens. We are going to change that whole framework so that it becomes a social insurance scheme called the Workers' Compensation Fund, so that it is predictable, so that every worker has access, na pia itakuwa rahisi kwa employers, so that employers don't carry too much burden when their employees are injured.
If the reforms proposed by the president see light of day, then employers stand to win again big time, as they will not be required to pay work injury benefits in full in the unlikely but possible event of an injury of an employee at work. President Ruto now wants the enactment of Workers' Compensation Fund aimed at incentivizing employers. Brian George Otieno, NTV, Nairobi.
Na wasambazaji wanasema hatutakuwa na plug.
Well, now that there has been no change